picture this. You just gave your entire team access to like the absolute latest generative AI tools.
Oh, yeah.
You've got these beautiful real-time data dashboards updating every single second.
Right. The dream setup.
Exactly. And your people are putting in these crazy 50-hour weeks. And I mean, the slide decks they produce are just absolute works of art.
Oh, totally. Very polished.
Yeah. Every calendar is completely double booked. So with all of that, why has your company's actual decision-making speed just completely dropped to zero?
Yeah, that is like the defining paradox of modern corporate life right there. I mean,
Right.
we always assume gridlock looks like this dramatic screeching halt, but it really doesn't.
Right.
Gridlock just looks like a massive amount of, highly engineered, very expensive, busy work.
So, okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to another Deep Dive, everyone. Today, our mission is exploring this really pervasive, silent killer of corporate growth.
Yeah, the decision gridlock. Exactly. We are diving into the latest marketing deep dive blog post from Denyse Drummond-Dunn at C3 Centricity. And, for those of you navigating the consumer packaged goods space, CPG Denyse is a global expert.
Right. She helps CPG executives reignite momentum in their careers and their companies.
Spot on. So the goal today is to unpack this decision gridlock concept and reveal why mid-level managers are actually the ones holding the keys to fixing the whole thing.
Which is, it's so critical for anyone who feels just completely buried by information overload right now.
Oh, absolutely.
The core premise we really need to look at is how motion has completely replaced momentum. Like, we have these teams that equate sheer activity with progress. And, well, the research shows those two things are frequently moving in totally opposite directions.
Right. So to solve the gridlock, we first have to, prove that being busy is actually the exact mechanism causing the slowdown.
Yeah.
Because we have to move from just the feeling of being on a treadmill to the hard data that proves the treadmill is actually broken.
But the data is pretty shocking, to be honest. It really is. I mean, look at the Microsoft Work Trend Index. It shows that knowledge workers who use Microsoft 365 are interrupted by a meeting, an email, or, a chat notification every 2 minutes.
Every 2 minutes. That's just wild.
Right. I mean, you literally cannot even formulate a complete complex thought in 120 seconds.
No, of course not.
Let alone solve, a massive systemic supply chain issue. It's like your brain is a computer with way too many tabs open, and the RAM is just completely maxed out.
That's a great analogy, yeah. You certainly can't engage in any sort of deep problem solving. And Asana's recent research on meeting culture really adds a lot of weight to this, too.
Oh, the meeting stats are brutal.
Yeah, they found that unproductive meetings have spiked sharply since 2019. By their 2024 metrics, individual contributors are wasting about 3.7 hours a week in meetings that literally accomplish nothing.
Wow, almost 4 hours.
And for managers, it's even worse. They lose 5.8 hours a week to these useless meetings.
That is almost an entire working day just gone.
Right. Just sitting in rooms, physical or virtual, and not actually moving the needle on anything.
And Atlassian's research, it really puts the emotional reality to those numbers.
Yeah.
They found that 78% of people say the sheer volume of meetings makes it incredibly hard to actually get their daily work done.
Which makes total sense.
Yeah, and 76% just feel completely drained. So when your thinking quality drops because of all these interruptions, people naturally seek safety, right? They start adding more stakeholders and more alignment meetings just to protect themselves.
Well, what's fascinating here is that the real problem isn't a lack of effort. I mean, effort is everywhere in these companies.
Right. Everybody is working hard.
Exactly. The problem is a lack of commitment. Denyse poses this brutally honest question in her post. And it's one that, if you're listening, you should really ask yourself the next time a project stalls out.
Well, I love this question.
Yeah, it's simply, are we learning or are we hiding?
That is such a sharp distinction. But, how does a team objectively tell the difference between learning and hiding in the moment?
It really comes down to the trajectory of the work. True learning actually changes the next decision you make.
Okay, so you get new info and it pivots the strategy.
Right. You gather a specific piece of data and it demonstrably alters what you do next. Hiding, on the other hand, well, it just delays the decision entirely.
Let's see.
Hiding looks like commissioning a fourth consumer study or inviting 3 more departments to an alignment meeting just to spread the accountability around so nobody gets blamed if it fails.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be the one left holding the bag. Which brings us to the complexity of CPG, right? Because people are seeking safety, they inevitably turn to data and AI as this sort of comfort blanket.
Oh, absolutely.
Because in CPG, everything is so interconnected. If you tweak like a sustainability claim on a shampoo bottle, it instantly impacts the legal team.
Yep, legal has to review it.
And it impacts the production line speed
Right.
and how the bottle physically fits on the retailer's shelf and, of course, consumer trust.
Every single choice triggers massive downstream consequences.
Right. So here's where it gets really interesting. You've got Microsoft noting that 75% of global knowledge workers are now using generative AI.
Which is a huge adoption rate.
Huge. But shouldn't all this AI and all these massive data dashboards actually make us faster? I mean, sure, the tools fix the gridlock?
You would think so, right? But the reality is that AI speeds up the output, not the actual decisions.
Okay, wait, explain that a bit more.
Well, Harvard Business Review recently pointed out that data-driven organizations very frequently confuse measurement with judgment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, AI just creates this really crowded stakeholder environment where everyone can instantly generate like proof to argue their preferred option.
So it's like handing everyone in a crowded boardroom a much louder megaphone.
Yes, exactly.
More noise definitely does not equal a faster consensus.
Yeah.
Marketing uses AI to make a 20-page deck saying we need to go premium, and supply chain generates 20 pages saying we need to standardize.
And you just get a highly optimized shouting match. You have to clarify what the data is actually for. If the output of all this incredible analysis ends with 10 executives sitting around a table saying, well, that's interesting, then data has just become corporate entertainment.
Corporate entertainment, wow, that is brutally accurate.
It is. Data is only doing its actual job if a meeting ends with someone stating, based on this metric, we will do X by Friday.
Right. But if the data isn't making the decision for us, someone actually has to make the call. And this leads us directly to the hidden culprit of the whole gridlock issue.
Unclear ownership.
Exactly. Nobody actually knows whose job it is to pull the trigger.
Right. And gridlock just thrives on unclear ownership. It creates these two distinct types of failures.
Okay, what are they?
First, you get the endless consensus building loop. That's where everyone has to be perfectly comfortable, so you water down the product until it's just mediocre.
Ugh. Designed by committee. The worst.
Exactly. Or you get what Denyse calls quiet veto power.
Oh, I've seen this happen so many times.
Right, that's when decisions get completely reversed weeks later just because some important executive feels they weren't adequately consulted early on.
Yeah, the classic swoop and poop maneuver.
Yeah.
And that just wastes so much time. Which ties back to the Asana stat, right? Workers are spending 60% of their time on work about work.
Yes, 60%.
They're just chasing updates and sitting in unnecessary meetings. So think about your last major project kickoff, as a listener. Was it explicitly clear who decides, who advises, and who actually executes?
Usually, the answer is no.
Right. And because it's so muddy, mid-level managers get unfairly labeled as bottlenecks.
Oh, it's so unfair. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the system actually punishes the person who makes a wrong call.
Exactly.
So everyone just naturally becomes the person who avoids making any call at all. Gridlock isn't a bug in these corporate environments. It's practically a feature.
It's a survival tactic.
Right, so you really have to ask your team, what is the true cost of not deciding this week? We worry so much about the wrong choice, but we ignore the cost of just standing still.
So true. Okay, so now that we've diagnosed this root cause, this unclear ownership in a super complex system, how do mid-level leaders actually fix this?
Well, the good news is you don't need some massive, exhausting corporate reorg.
Oh, thank goodness. Nobody wants another reorg.
Right. The solution is actually just a simple rhythm built on 3 specific habits. This is fixing the operating system itself.
Okay, what's the first habit?
Habit number 1 is the weekly decision list.
Like a status meeting.
No, definitely not a status update. It is a strict agenda of decisions that absolutely must be made in the next 7 days. Nothing else.
Oh, I like that. Very focused. And the second habit?
The single owner. Every single decision on that weekly list gets one designated owner, one specific deadline, and one clear metric for success.
Okay, so if I know that, say, Sarah owns the pricing strategy, I don't need to force my way into 6 different alignment meetings just to stay close to the project.
Exactly. It completely stops that FOMO-driven meeting attendance.
That alone would save so many hours. And what's the third habit?
The third is the clean decision record. This is basically a single structured paragraph stating what was decided, why it was decided, what alternative options were ruled out, and what specific new evidence would trigger a change if it arrives.
Okay, wait, I have to push back a little here.
Sure, go ahead.
Isn't a decision record just asking for more documentation? Like, isn't that exactly the kind of administrative burden we are trying to avoid?
I hear that a lot, actually. But you have to look at why decisions get casually reopened a week later. It cures organizational fatigue.
How so?
Well, a single documented paragraph prevents people from quietly sabotaging the project just because their idea wasn't picked. It's on the record why we didn't go with option B.
Ah, so it actually shuts down the endless debate loop.
Exactly. And saying yes to everything quietly destroys execution quality. We see this at the highest industry levels. Unilever is actively pushing to be simpler, sharper, faster.
Right, and Nestlé's doing the same thing. They're speeding up data flow to cut out all that uncertainty.
And McKinsey actually notes that bold category leaders are reducing their ski complexity, like the number of product variations they sell by 80 to 90% in some cases.
Wait, really? 80 to 90%?
Yeah, just to restore execution quality. You can't be fast if you're managing 1,000 tiny, insignificant choices.
That is wild. But, okay, to effectively implement this three-habit rhythm, leaders really need a way to figure out where their specific team is getting stuck in the first place, right?
Absolutely. Diagnosis is key.
Because gridlock always just feels like this vague culture issue. People just complain, oh, our culture is slow.
But structured diagnosis actually makes it actionable. C3 Centricity has these great frameworks for this. The first one is the QC2 evaluator.
QC2, okay. How does that work?
It's a framework to explicitly locate the blockage, you ask. Is it the company like? Is governance broken? Is it the consumer? Do we lack clarity on the change?
Okay, makes sense.
Is it the brands like, are we failing to make trade-offs? Or is it processes? Are the actual departmental handoffs completely broken?
So what does this all mean for a typical CPG leader? I mean, how many times have we sat in a room arguing over some vague word like loyalty or premiumization?
Far too many times, I'm sure. And that's exactly where the second tool, the CATSIGHT framework, comes in.
Right, CATSIGHT.
Yeah, it's used to sharpen those vague objectives. Broad goals like growth or premiumization just cause huge arguments because everyone defines them differently.
Oh, for sure. Marketing thinks it means better packaging, and R&D thinks it means more expensive ingredients.
Exactly. So the CATSIGHT framework translates those broad goals into very specific consumer behaviors that actually must change.
So it makes the very next action obvious.
Right. It stops teams from blaming each other's personalities and just focuses them entirely on locating the true constraint in their operating system.
That is such a powerful shift in perspective. It really shows that decision gridlock is, at its core, an operating system problem, not a personality problem.
Yes, exactly.
And mid-level CPG managers are in the absolute best position to fix this. I mean,
Yeah.
They sit right there perfectly between the high-level insights and the ground-level execution.
They really do. And by restoring that clean decision rhythm we talked about, they literally become the trusted leader that gets the company momentum flowing again.
And let's be honest, getting the company moving is how you get your own career momentum flowing again, too.
Oh, 100%. It's a win-win.
Well, this has been an incredibly eye-opening deep dive for everyone listening. If you want to break out of this gridlock, actively encourage you to subscribe to the channel right now.
Yes, definitely subscribe.
And you really need to visit c3centricity.com for more of these ideas. You can explore the QC2 and CATSIGHT frameworks we just talked about, and you can even book a completely free business makeover session with Denyse.
Highly recommend checking that out. It's an amazing resource.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final kind of provocative thought to just mull over this week.
Oh, let's hear it.
If you looked back and mapped out every single decision you made this past week, how many were actual firm commitments and how many were really just agreements to keep discussing things at a later date?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Something to think about next time you check your calendar. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.